from judgment. Everybody has an opinion on how they're playing, what they should do, what they shouldn't be doing. She actually reached out to that UCLA coach, Sue Enquist, who's gone through that, for advice on how to keep the noise out. She said, I've learned that I have to be steady with my team. I have to be the steady presence. Keep them in a bubble so they don't hear the outside noise. She said, you know what? It's America. Everybody has a voice, and that's a beautiful thing, but it can be poison to our kids. They play with passion. They play with determination. And her final message to her young ladies, you are unapologetic. Play with your joy. Play with your passion. And we have seen that every second of game one and this series so far. We see those players be passionate. We see them play like themselves. Alyssa Brito told us, I want to play with the joy of playing with my friends, free from judgment. Patty Gasso has given them that appreciation, that unapologetic attitude, and said, just go be yourselves out on the field tonight.
Yeah, and Patty Gasso, who is tied with Sue Enquist, coaches with 6 national championships. One more this weekend would tie her for second with Sharon Backus, one shy of Mike Candrea, and they are bringing the joy in their dugout.
Get it, Patty, get it.
Coach Gasso getting after some, and on the other side for Lonnie Alameda, who played for the Oklahoma Sooners back in her day. What a job she has done in Tallahassee. This will be their 3rd championship series appearance in the last 5 years, including that title in 2018. And what has she told her players? Well, all year long, it's been let's ride. And they will look for chaos on the bases today as we check out our starting lineups, brought to you by Capital One. And it's Michaela Edenfield in the 4th spot in the lineup. She is the only player so far in this World Series with 2 home runs and saving her best softball for the finish. And they will face Jordy Ball, the 2-time All-American, who was a winner in Game 2 to lock down the championship last year. And she is 15-0 in her last 17 starts. And has been dynamite so far in the tournament, Michelle.
Yeah, she has been explosive at the top of the zone. That rise ball is really her swing and miss pitch, but she can also go downstairs with a lot of movement on the drop, and then she will use a changeup. But look at how confident she is throwing the ball through the middle of the zone. 20 strikeouts here in the Women's College World Series, and a lot of them right down Broadway. She's confident with her velocity, with her movement, and look at the swing and miss. She's very heavy arm side, upper quadrant, so look for that rise ball on the arm side, inside to righties, away from lefties.
It'll also be interesting, you see that swing and miss, that zone, Beth, how these Florida State hitters move in the box to adjust to that.
Kaylee Mudge to lead things off. This is the anniversary of her 5-hit game a couple of years ago in the national semifinals against Alabama. That's a World Series record for the junior out of Winter Springs, Florida. Mudge was a member of the All-World Series team back in 2021. She registered 14 hits total, also a World Series record. And said this time around feels a little different, guys. Remember that run a couple of years ago? It was a bit of a Cinderella story. She says this year we are a confident bunch. This is where we expected to be. And we know we deserve to be here to fight with the Sooners.
Yeah, this is a team that worked very hard in the offseason after getting bounced last year at regionals at home as the 2 seed. They have been on a mission this year.
They've been humbled.
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful thing. You think about this class 2 years ago, they're in the championship series. They beat Oklahoma game 1, and then they don't make it out of regionals. And it's both ends of the spectrum they've seen.
Some of those players that were on that 2021 team, and Sydney Sherrill on that national championship team in 2018. 2-2 to Mudge. And got her swinging. One down.
And Jordy Ball goes right to that area that we saw on the heat map, that upper quadrant, outside to lefties, inside to righties, and that's actually a foul tip that Kenzie Hansen does a really good job of hanging on to. You can see this rise ball at the upper half just tipped. Good job to hang on to it. First strikeout of the game for Jordy Ball on the rise ball.
Next up is Janai Kerr. Chops one back up the middle. Backhand, Tiare Jennings, 2 down.
Anticipation before the pitch. I mean, Smitty, you've talked about it where Jordy Ball's going to throw. That helps the infield understand. They know exactly that everything is going to be outside. And I love that Tiare Jennings did a good job of not just getting to that, but anticipating where it was going to go.
Kaylee Harding, who was one of their 4 field players that started in the 2021 Champ Series and is back again for more. First pitch swinging, sends it the other way, back towards the track, and the catch is made by Alina Torres. It's a 7-pitch inning for Jordy Ball. The Sooners coming up.
Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Let's check out the starting lineups brought to you by Capital One for the #1 ranked team in the country, the Oklahoma Sooners, at 59-1 on the season. Have not lost since February. One of the reasons why is Tiare Jennings. Look at that World Series career record of 28 RBIs, tied with Jocelyn Alo. This is her 32nd game in the postseason. She's batting .441 with 15 homers. And she will face Mac Leonard, who gets the call to start tonight instead of the All-American Catherine Sandercock.
Well, Mac Leonard's a lot of down, 18 walks on the year, and she's really about just putting the ball at the knees. If she can be consistent at the knees and work that off speed, that's typically when she rolls a lot of ground balls. She's not going to be a lot of high strikeout. It's just ability to use this lower part of the zone, and you can see this is where she picks up her swing and miss. She's going to aim at your knee, roll it to the dirt, get you to swing through it.
Down to Holly Rowe.
I've checked in with Lonnie Alameda out in the bullpen about this pitching decision tonight, and she said, look, this is not just one game. This is a series, and we have to give Oklahoma a lot of different looks. They're such a good hitting team. They make adjustments, and we've got to use a lot of different people. She also told us the other day that there's a number of runs that they're willing to live with just so that they can make this mix up of different looks for those people in the batting lineup. So we'll see how Mac does here to start the game. She's a confident young lady, talks a lot to herself, but very interesting for Lonnie Alameda. They're going with the staff.
Yeah, she is not afraid to take a chance, and this certainly is one because Mac Leonard has only thrown 44 pitches so far in this World Series. 3 innings of work. And just to set the backstory as well, Tennessee tried this earlier in the tournament, and Oklahoma beat them 9-0, run ruled them. Time will tell if this is the good call. Leonard facing Jada Coleman, who has not missed a start in her 3-year career at Oklahoma and has not missed a Champ Series as well, with those back-to-back titles for the Big 12 Player of the Year.
That's the pitch. It's going to be important for Mac Leonard, that off speed that she throws, mid to high 50s. It's good variation in velocity from her drop. That's usually 68 to 70 miles an hour.
One of the 2 lefties she will face, top of the order and bottom of the order, with Riley Boone. This is not new for Florida State to consider their entire pitching staff, the biggest that anybody has thrown this year, with 7 different pitchers used, 4 of them with over 40 innings. Leonard threw more at the beginning of the season and at the end of the season. First pitch off the bat of Coleman, heads out to Kerr, 1 down.
Yeah, Lonnie Alameda Lani Alameda actually compared her staff to the Tampa Bay Rays, that she watches a ton of baseball. She talked about how she started to watch how they utilize matchups, and it really incorporated that into how she's going to use her staff depending on who's up to bat.
Here's Tiare Jennings. And for Mac Leonard, who was a grad student a couple of years at Florida State after transferring in from Illinois State. And it looks like they have to take the players off the field. We may have another weather delay here in Oklahoma City. And so we did have a lightning strike in the area. So after a 1-hour delay pregame, we get things going, and now another stoppage here in game 1 of our championship series. We will take a break and be back with an update for you in a moment. Strike count on Tiare Jennings. And the numbers for Leonard, just her 14th start of the season. And as Lani Alameda told our Holly Rowe pregame, we're going to throw the staff at him tonight. And think about long-term here. You've got to beat them twice to win the national championship. Not an easy thing to do against Oklahoma. They have only lost 4 3-game series in 10 years. And the Noles will try and add to that list. However, 2 of those losses did come in finals. 2012 to Alabama, 2019 to UCLA. And here is Jennings, the first-team All-American for the 3rd year in a row. A flare, foul territory to the right side. Tiare out of San Pedro, California. 73 career home runs. That is 3rd best ever. 244 RBIs, also 3rd best ever, behind Jocelyn Alo and Lauren Chamberlain. The RBI record she may be able to chase down next year. One-two for Mac. Up and in.
Following the changeup too, so it goes 58. Gets up in miles per hour, 68 miles per hour on that last one. And this is what Florida State has to do. Mix those speeds along with the location. Mac Leonard, that's a huge part of their game plan.
Lani Alameda likes the veteran in the circle. And gets her. Back to the inside of the plate. And they love her confidence right now. 2 down.
Leonard mixing her speeds. This is a drop ball in the inner half. It just gets Jennings to swing through it. Good velocity, 68 miles an hour, but it's well placed. You can see the over-the-top rotation, late break downward. Leonard pumped at the end of that pitch. First strikeout for Mac Leonard.
Here's Haley Lee in the 3 spot. She's the DP. These 2 teams saw each other during the regular season in March down in Norman. It was a 5-4 win for Oklahoma. Haley Lee, one of 4 players who homered in that game. And Lee lifts that out to right center. Kerr called off by Hallie Waycaser. And it's a 1-2-3 start for Mac Leonard. Scoreless through 1 in game 1. Edenfield set to lead things off for the Noles in the second.
And you look at the 2 home runs that she's had here. The only player here to have 2 home runs. Look at the location. So this is against Oklahoma State's on the inner half of the plate. Then she comes right back. You even see how her lower half is gone, but still the power with her upper half. And when you look at her zone that she absolutely crushes, her weighted heat map actually shows. You see that red zone? This is where you do not want to throw if you're a pitcher. This is outcome-based, power-based. The blue zone is where you want to hit. She struggles up and down, but you saw throughout the middle, absolutely crushes.
The Sooner starter, Jordy Bahl, only needed 7 pitches to get through the top of the first, but her delay due to the weather is a bit closer to an hour since she last threw a pitch. And it's 4, 5, and 6 in the Noles lineup. That home run against Oklahoma State was on the very first pitch she saw here. As we send it out of Sneads, Florida. One thing she's done this year, she was telling us her focus was to cut down on the strikeouts, which she has done, and to add more walks and be patient at the plate, which she has also done, as she continues to add dimensions to her game.
And that's the biggest thing right there, is the takes. We just showed you her weighted heat map. She also knows. I said, this is where you don't throw as a pitcher. She knows these are the pitches that I need to swing at. It's got to be right at my waist. Anything above and below, I'm not going to be able to drive.
Wow. Ripped back up the middle and a base hit for Michaela Edenfield.
And how about Edenfield at 3-0 and has the green light? Knows she's going to get a good pitch and attacks it.
Yeah, 3-0 she's not taking, and this is actually a high drop ball. It's starting to come down. Actually gets it on her hands, but this is the strength. We saw it in the home run earlier in this tournament, again there with the base hit.
Holly?
Well, she is good at everything. I call her Edenfield excellence, whether it's in high school winning a state volleyball championship or whether she's homecoming queen. Everything this young woman touches is gold. Here she is in softball. She's new to the sport. She's learning this sport and learning some of the ins and outs of it. But look at this. I just think she's amazing. She is literally a queen. And don't even get me started on her makeup excellence. Tonight, of course, she is honoring cancer survivors with her bows and ribbons to remember those who are in the battle.
And she is the first base runner tonight, with Devin Flaherty stepping in.
And I like the fact that Kinzie Hansen's going to go out and talk to Jordy Bahl. In this inning, she's thrown 5 of 6 pitches have been balls.
Which is super unusual for Jordy Bahl. Always attacking the strike zone. Smitty, you talked about that at the very top. It's how she gets a lot of her strikeouts, her outs, by just going right down the middle of the plate, trusting her stuff.
That's Alex Storako out in the bullpen. (2-0 to Flaherty. In this World Series, just 1 walk to 21 strikeouts for Jordy, and another 3-0 count. As is Jordy's way, you see, she doesn't look towards home plate until the very last when she is delivering pitches. The focus down to the ground before she delivers to Kinzie.
She looks at that stride point or a little bit beyond.
Caught the corner, 3-2.
I don't think it caught the corner. I think this is off the plate. And you give some credit to Kinzie Hansen. Look at how she comes around that.
I think it's almost in the other batter's box. Wow.
Caught the umpire's corner. And a strikeout for Bahl, 1 down. That's the second for Jordy.
This is the confidence that Jordy Bahl has. So on the setup pitch, she's coming outside. That's a 3-1 count. She's got to come to the zone to make it go to 3-2. And then at 3-2, she's really just grooving it right down the middle of the plate. That pitch in the high 60s. She gets Flaherty to swing through at a non-productive out after starting 3-0, comes back for the strikeout.
McLeonard. Oh, almost got Hansen's hand there on the foul tip.
Definitely got her thigh. She's tough. That's what they, rough and tough Kenzie.
Yeah.
They say about her. Of course, anyone playing that position.
She could play a pivotal role this series, not necessarily with Edenfield, but Florida State loves to steal bases. They have 7 already in this World Series. Oklahoma has only allowed 8 all year. Leonard could be 2. Double play for the #1 fielding team in the nation.
Oklahoma, best fielding percentage in the country, and you see a hard hit ball, just the flip. 6-4-3 to get out of the inning for her pitcher. Struggled early in this, and now they're back in the dugout.
Well, guys, the significance of that paddle is pretty deep. This team has been reading the book this season, It Takes What It Takes, by Trevor Moawad, written by also Russell Wilson. And in that book, it talks about the importance of everybody rowing in the same direction, everybody in the right direction. Lonnie Alameda does a ton of culture building with this team. Everything from Tell the Truth Tuesdays, standing up and telling your teammates what you're grateful for. And that's the paddle, that's the significance. They also did the military program called The Program, and that paddle comes from that training, and they decided they'd let them keep it this year because they want to be rugged and intentful, dependable, and energetic. Their theme for the season, Let's Ride. You can see it right there on the paddle.
As we head to the bottom of the second, Oklahoma will bring up 4, 5, and 6. Kinzie Hansen to get things started out of Norco, California. Wasn't completely healthy last year in the run to the national championship. She is this year. This is her 18th World Series game with 5 home runs and 10 runs batted in. Kinzie is one of 5, count them 5, first-team All-Americans in the starting lineup tonight.
Yeah, it's really amazing when you look at their numbers. Just the sheer power they have. 4 hitters over 500. 8 of the 9 have a .320 or above batting average. Just gaudy.
Oklahoma beat Stanford here in their opener, then run-ruled Tennessee, and beat Stanford again in extra innings in the semis to advance. During this 51-game winning streak, which has lasted now for 108 days, they've had 4 one-run wins, 4 wins in their final at-bat, and a pair of extra inning wins so far in the NCAA tournament. The Florida State win was number 14 in the streak during the season. Hansen, gloved by Harding, who slings it over to first, 1 down. Been streaking since February 19th, outscoring opponents by 371 runs. Half of them shutouts, 22 of them against ranked opponents. And 23 of those run rules, including 1 here at the World Series.
It's incredible. All the numbers that they have, to be honest, it's the offense that I've circled. They beat teams before they even are able to flip it around. The intimidation, which is why it's been so huge for McLeonard right now and what she's doing, attacking these hitters, the game plan that Florida State has early.
Facing Alyssa Brito, the junior out of Tustin, California. Oh, 2.
Couple of nice pitches on the outer half, really using that lower part of the zone. And she gives just enough wiggle on that pitch. She gets down every once in a while. You can see her kind of cut her wrist, and she'll get a little out and down. Manipulating those pitches.
That's a great take. And this is where Oklahoma, you get them with 2 strikes, and just a little bit of a shortened swing and understanding of where the strike zone is. You got to be really careful with 2 strikes against these hitters.
Brito with 17 home runs, 59 runs batted in on the season. The Sooners with 11 hits at this World Series with 2 strikes.
Well, they just do a really good job of being selective, even with those 2 strikes. They don't chase. It's easy to chase when you're behind in the count, but that's one of the things that makes them such a great team. They don't chase at pitches outside of the zone.
Alyssa Brito has more strikeouts looking actually than anyone else in this lineup, and the reason is because if she thinks it's at all off, she will not chase. She'd rather take.
Lashes one foul. Hey, the Women's College World Series Championship Game 2 will come your way tomorrow night, scheduled for 7:30 Eastern on ESPN. The If Necessary game Friday night, 8 Eastern on ESPN. 18 years now of this championship series. We have played 3 games 5 times, including when these 2 teams got together a couple of years ago. Florida State won the opener, and then Oklahoma took games 2 and 3. And Brito draws the walk, and the first base runner for the Sooners.
She started out 0-2, worked it back to full, takes the walk.
Unapologetic, that's been the theme for Oklahoma. Holly Rowe talked about it at the top. This is exactly what Oklahoma talked to us about yesterday, is they're going to have their emotions. They're going to be themselves. They're going to throw bats and yell and get amped.
Patty's only request was that when they walk, they throw the bat towards their dugout, not in the direction of any opponent. And now Lonnie Alameda wants to come out and talk with Mac Leonard. This hostile kind of environment, by the way, is nothing new for Florida State. They are as road-tested as anybody in the country. 13-6 this year on the road against ranked opponents, including a trip down to Norman, which we've talked about. They have won 18 straight road or neutral games and have not lost one of those since March. And they talked to us yesterday, guys, about loving the hostility and embracing being one team against about 80% of the crowd tonight.
Yeah, that us against the world mentality, and you almost can feel it in the stadium.
Well, and there's an enjoyment of, these are softball fans. Yeah, they're not cheering for you maybe, but you feel it. You feel 15,000 strong cheering for softball, and that'll lift you up. That'll get to you.
In the 6th spot here in the lineup is Grace Lyons. And what a moment for Grace as the runner goes. The throw down off of the bobble, not in time. Brito will take second.
This is reading down angle. Just a great job of running the bases. Alyssa Brito is not straight stealing on this. What she does is as soon as she sees the ball down, so you see her lead, she sees it in the dirt, and her reaction is to go. And that aggressiveness that we talked about with Florida State, we're seeing it right now with Alyssa Brito taking second right there.
First runner in scoring position. 2-0 count to Grace. And the fifth-year senior from Peoria, Arizona, the first player in championship series history to play in 4 champ series in her career. She's 2-1.
Edenfield asking where that pitch missed. A little elevated. Maybe.
At the knees, full count. Back-to-back hitters looking at a 3-2 pitch for OU. Lions, foul.
Oh. Ball was absolutely demolished. And I get it for Mac Leonard. It's a long strike, gets her to 3-2. Grace Lyons just a little bit out in front of it. I thought it was out of here the moment she hit it. Just hooked it.
Another 3-2, grounded to Muffley, will check the runner and fire to first, 2 down.
Love that pitch sequence. So you drop inside, gets tattooed to the wall. They come back with that 54-mile-an-hour changeup. Just a really good locate. Look at the rotation on this pitch. It's high, but just jams up Grace Lyons. You can see she hits it off the handle. Good job by Muffley to make sure that Brito's going back to the bag and pick up the out.
Yeah, keep an eye on the pitch sequence, because I think as much as we look at the out pitches, it's important to see how they're set up, especially for the best offense in the country.
Here's Sydney Sanders. One of their 2 transfers from Arizona State in the starting lineup out of San Marcos, California. Struggled to adjust the first half of the season and then had a walk-off hit against Texas in early April. And that got her mojo back. She was an All-American last year at ASU. And the impressive numbers so far in her postseason.
Well, you talked about Florida State being comfortable with this hostile environment. Lonnie Alameda, their head coach, actually had them watch the movie Gladiator last night. She wanted them to feel what it's like to be in an arena when everybody's against you. A lot of these kids weren't born when that movie came out, so she reminded them with the viewing last night, they feel pretty comfortable out here. They see themselves as gladiators out here in front of this very hostile crowd.
The 1-2 pitch.
Nice block by Edenfield.
Yeah. Well, not only did we've talked about they have 4 starters plus Kat Sandercock, who were on the team here a couple years ago, but not only did they play in Norman, but they actually came up here as a team and visited Hall of Fame Stadium, so the players that weren't around a couple years ago could get a feel for the place.
Yeah.
And the expectation they'd be back here again. Called strike 3. Number 2 for Mac Leonard, and that ends the threat. Runner stranded at second for the Sooners.
How about the setup to this one? Going away, going to the changeup, and then running the drop ball in the inside part of the plate. These are big-time hitters, and you think about how Mac Leonard right now is keeping these bats silent. A beautiful job painting the inside corner for out number 3.
The future is golden. Step into the
College World Series presented by Capital One. Scoreless through 2 here in Game 1 of our Champ Series. The top seed Oklahoma, the 3 seed Florida State. Allie Waycaser to lead things off 7, 8, and 9 for a Seminole team that beat Oklahoma State in their opener. They run-ruled them, then topped Washington before knocking out Tennessee in the semis. They hit 3 home runs, and Waycaser had one of those, along with Bethany Keene in the on-deck circle and Michaela Edenfield. That'll back up Brito, and she mishandles it. Second inning in a row, the leadoff gets aboard. Just the 17th error of the year for Oklahoma.
Well, and you can see that Brito, she's trying to read the hop, and she doesn't go get the ball. She starts to look at her. She's backing up. You've got to go get these slow rollers, high hops. You can see the English and spin on it. And I think that's one of the challenges for Oklahoma. Just 16 errors on the year. That's a 17th error. How many opportunities have they had? That's part of the plan for Florida State. Put the ball on the ground, put the team in motion, see if they can't fluster them a little bit. 3rd error of the season for Brito at the postseason.
Here's Keene. Gets the start at first base tonight with Mac Leonard in the circle. Senior out of Bradenton, Florida.
This team knows how to situationally hit, run the bases. Biggest thing is trying to put the ball in play. And you saw with Brito, I mean, it doesn't matter. We talk about this with batting average, all the other numbers. It doesn't matter how many errors you had in the regular season. It's a whole different game. You get here, packed crowd, pressure's on, and it moves a whole lot faster.
Swing and a miss, chases up. Two and two.
Jordy Ball, that rise ball, so good. You see it as a result at home watching this. Why do you swing at a pitch that's out of the zone up? Because it doesn't look like it when you decide to hit. Late movement.
Full count. Jordy Ball has only given up 1 two-strike hit at this World Series.
I know Bethany Keene, she had a home run in their last game. I'm a little surprised here early because this team is so situational that they didn't think about bunting over a runner.
Yep.
It's a huge part of their game. Bethany Keene, that was the first home run she's hit all season.
"19 hits on the season for Bethany. None of those bunts. And the swing and miss. Got her with the off speed. Number 3 for Jordy Ball.
Well, and this is why Jordy Ball is so hard to hit. Any pitch in any count. And so you see her go down, you see her go rise, and then she'll come with this changeup. It's spinning in the opposite direction that it's moving, and you can see the way that she flips that out. And because of that Tate rotation, it's hard to pick up the differential in velocity. It's deceptive. Jordy Ball gets a non-productive out.
And Smitty, that's only her second change of the night that she's thrown.
Yeah, she has a ability to throw that.
Runner goes, Hansen throws high, and a stolen base for Waycaser.
She also hesitated. Kinzie Hansen was not ready to throw this as soon as she caught it. There was a slight pause. You'll see her as soon as she catches this. Almost caught off guard, which is why I think she threw this high. A lot of runners do not steal against her. Caught her off guard.
Yeah, that's only the 6th stolen base that she's given up.
8th of this World Series now for the Seminoles, and skied out to Jada Coleman in center. 2 down, and here comes the top of the order.
Now batting left fielder, number 6, Kaylee Mudd.
19 stolen bases, leads the field, 134 this season. This is what they do.
They walk, they steal bases, they drive people home with doubles. They are amongst the best in the country at all 3 of those.
122 doubles on the year. How about 247 walks coming into today's game? That's a lot.
So Waycaser in scoring position, reaching on an error and stealing a base. Kaylee Mudd struck out on a rise ball her first time up. The numbers for Mudge.
Everything was outside too, her first at bat. I mean, hardly anything close to the plate, just away, away, away. Clearly the plan.
She has a hit in 9 of her 11 career World Series games.
That was the one.
Wow. That's a pitch that's middle in. I mean, but that's where Jordy can get you because she's got so many different looks. That's a drop ball. It's got a little bit of late sharp movement.
Imagine a drop ball that looks like the rise ball, which is so unusual. I mean, normally it's bottom of the zone, but Jordy will throw that pitch, same tunnel as the rise ball. And that's why Kaylee Mudge took it. She thought that thing was going to keep going up. Instead, it stayed over the middle.
Yeah, and that also gets hitters to swing at a rise ball. She's got a 44% chase rate on a rise ball. Comes back with that off speed.
Missed away 2-2.
And that's a really good take by Mudge. 2-strike changeups for Jordy Bahl have a 48% whiff rate. So hard to identify that pitch. She gets a lot of swing and miss through it.
Oh, Mudge finding a way to battle off that rise ball. We've seen so much swing and miss. You just mentioned the numbers, Smitty. But Mudge, she's hitting .563 against the rise, and she knows that. She understands that's a pitch that she can at least foul off. I think what Jordy Bahl's probably going to come back with now is that drop at the top of the zone. Try to really mess with what she's seeing from Mudge and the foul balls.
Pitching coach Jen Rocha sends in the call.
Changeup.
Just getting enough of it. Last 2 change up. She's fouled them off, gotten rid of them.
I love this battle. The senior, the leader, top of the lineup, Jordy Bahl, throwing everything in this at bat. 8th pitch on its way.
Mudge looking for a knock to take the early lead.
Back-to-back. Back-to-back changeups. Mudge still doing a good job identifying that again, just getting rid of it. It's one of the best things you can do as a hitter. You may not be squaring it up, but just enough to get rid of it. And as a pitcher, that it's like, come on. Throw it a little lower, throw it a little slower, make an adjustment.
Go higher with the rise.
Exactly.
Strikes out Mudge for the 2nd time tonight. That's number 4 on the evening. And the runner stranded at second.
With the runner in scoring position, Jordy Bahl at her best after back-to-back changeups. It's a drop ball on the outer half, threads the needle, gets out of the jam. Jordy Bahl with a lot of emotion.
championship. Back goes Muggs to the track, and it's gone. Flaherty pops it up. Juarez has it. A record-breaking run for Oklahoma, capped with a 5th national championship. 2 years ago, Sooners over Seminoles. Jocelyn Alo, the home run in Game 3. G. Juarez was 5-0 in that series, including back-to-back complete game wins in the championship series for an OU team that set World Series records with 67 hits, 49 runs scored. They hit 15 homers after Florida State won Game 1. 8-9 in the top here for the Sooners against Leonard. It's also notable for Florida State because they were 6 outs away from the national championship. They had a lead in Game 2 into the 6th inning, and then there was an error, and then Jocelyn Alo happened. A 2-run home run off of Catherine Sandercock, and that turned the series in OU's favor. So in 18 years of the championship series, this is the first time we have 2 teams facing off again in a final. How about that?
Shocking, too.
It is shocking.
Yeah. Alina Torres, .429 batting average in this World Series. Grounded to second. Devin Flaherty's there, 1 down. Let's take a look at our bracket update, brought to you by Enterprise. Oklahoma beat Stanford in the semis, needed extra innings to do it, and then Florida State got by Tennessee to advance. Game 2 will be tomorrow night, 7:30 Eastern. Florida State will be the home team for that one. The significance, by the way, if you win tonight, you go on to win the title 76% of the time. The Game 1 winners have won 13 of the 17 Champ Series. Here's Riley Boone. They call her the party starter down at the bottom of the order out of Owasso, Oklahoma. And the senior from Tulsa, Oklahoma, Patty Gasso, was telling us yesterday she wants to make a difference on this stage as an Oklahoma native, and she is doing it. She's hitting .500 so far in the World Series.
This is one of those great 9-hole hitters that is almost like a second lead off.
Boone looking for the gap, drives it deep, and it sticks in the base of the wall. Boone will hold at second, and she's got the double for the Sooners.
Known for her speed, getting on base, but how about this one, the pop, the off-speed pitch, and beautiful job in the changeup, going down, but also keeping her weight in a perfect position. I thought this was out. She hit this, it looked like it was going to clear. It finds that spot, gets stuck in the bottom of the wall. She had actually a chance for a triple there. Patty Gasso holding her up, though. Jada Coleman coming up to bat.
So here comes the top of the lineup. The next big decision here for Florida State. Do you stay with Mac Leonard, who's been pitching well so far, and allow the top of the order to see her a second time? As Holly Rowe was reporting earlier, the expectation was that we would see a bit of the Florida State staff. She got Coleman to fly out her first time up. Jada, in her first 2 years, hit 17 home runs. She really didn't need to hit a whole lot. They had Alo. This year in the offseason, with Jocelyn gone, she said, I need to provide some more power. So she has matched that total with 17 home runs this year.
Hit the weight room, really worked on more of her power game. Worked with JT Gasso, the hitting coach.
Both of Patty Gasso's sons were here at the World Series. Of course, JT on her staff, and DJ, one of the assistant coaches at Utah, as the Utes were one of 3 Pac-12 schools to make it here. JT handles the hitters. Both of these staffs huge on the analytics and the technology. In foul territory, Edenfield's got it. And they take care of Coleman. 2 down.
That is a quality pitch. Coleman upset with herself. Chased a pitch earlier in that at-bat low, drop ball. And then a pitch on the inner half just induces the pop-up. Big out for Mac Leonard.
Here's Tiare Jennings. Struck out on a drop ball in the first. Last year in the Champ Series, they put up 16 runs in Game 1 against Texas, and Tiare hit 2 home runs. And for the second inning in a row, OU has a shot at driving in a run. And Lonnie Alameda will come out for another chat. Lonnie with her staff of Travis Wilson and Troy Cameron, getting them back here to the championship series for the 3rd time in 5 years. Let's check in with Holly.
Well, Tiare Jennings tells us that, you know, she does a ton of study before she gets into the batter's box. They watch film, they go over scouting reports. She does a lot of information, analytics. But when she steps into the box, she wants to be quiet. She wants to keep it simple. And one of the things I've been impressed with her entire career as a freshman, everything she's done, she's quiet and calm in the box, and then just allows herself not to think too much, to trust her preparation, and then explode when she needs to.
Yeah, explosive is one of the good words to use to describe Jennings. There is now some activity as well in the FSU bullpen. Royalty and Reed limbering. Oh, she checked the swing. It almost came in and hit her, and she does not hold up.
Like she did check it. You see, so upset.
To the right side, scooped up by Keene, who makes the play. Mac Leonard gets out of the jam by retiring Coleman and Jennings.
Jordy Bahl, one of the most aggressive pitchers, looking to take the rubber. 4 strikeouts, trying to sit down the Noles for the 3rd.
Particularly Jordy Bahl, how have you guys managed it so far?
Oh, really good. I think we've been in these positions. We live in Oklahoma, so we've been in these positions before, so it's nothing new for us.
The top of your order comes up, runners in scoring position, doesn't produce. What was your thoughts there as your big hitters didn't do it?
We're just trying to square it up. It's early in the game. We're just still getting a feel, but I'm not worried, really.
Thank you, Coach.
I want to say happy birthday to my mom, who's turning 85 years old today. Happy birthday, Mom. I love you.
Allie Rowe, along with Patty Gasso, now in her 29th season. She is #1 wins amongst active coaches. And they are looking for a 6th national championship in the last 10 years. Jordy Bahl won one for them a year ago.
4 strikeouts for Jordy Bahl, and she's using all her different tools in her toolbox. Drop on the outer half that's slightly elevated. And look at this pitch. This is actually a curveball. She doesn't throw it a lot, but really good rotation. 3rd strikeout of the game, the changeup. Just so much variation on that pitch in velocity, and then back to the drop ball on the outer half against Mudge. just really attacking the lower half of the zone, using that rise ball as well, but Florida State has done a good job of fouling that pitch off. It's been the drop ball and the changeup that has been effective so far this evening.
Jordy back out there for the 4th inning in a scoreless game. Game 1 of our championship series, best 2 out of 3. In the 3rd inning, both sides got a runner to second base, had opportunities, and could not cash them in. 2, 3, and 4 coming up for the Seminoles. Janai Kerr grounded out to the right side, her first time up. Big-time recruit for them a few years ago out of Mableton, Georgia. And then COVID hit, and then an ACL injury hit. And Janai making the most of this, her first healthy season. Lonnie Alameda loves her high softball IQ. And Janai was telling us the big challenge against OU pitchers is not to chase.
Well, that's what great pitchers do. They throw pitches that are actually out of the zone that look like they're in the zone, so they get you as a hitter to swing at balls that look like strikes. So one of the keys is to really watch the rotation, let that ball travel deep, give it time to get into the zone.
Right back to Jordy, tried to go for the tag and lost the ball. 3rd inning in a row with a leadoff aboard, and that's the 2nd error on the best fielding team in the country this year.
And that's actually the first error of the year on Jordy Bahl. She just drops that out. As you mentioned, Beth, you can see she picks it up, takes her eye off the ball, pops out of the glove. Again, that speed and that chaos that Florida State can create.
And Kerr can definitely go at first base. 14 of 16 swipes on the year. Here's Kaylee Harding. Kaylee lined out to right field her first time up. Of course, we talked about Kerr coming back from injury. Jordy Bahl as well. Remember, she had the forearm injury last year in the postseason. And like so many other players we hear about, she said, I was fixated on getting back to where I was instead of just focusing on where I am. And after a shaky start to the season, she has been money. Her lone loss back on February 19th. She is 15-0 in her last 17 starts.
She talked about the pressure too, and I appreciated her honesty of, after being freshman of the year, coming in early this season, how much pressure she felt to be the greatest, to be the best. That's part of why you see the blue tape there on Kinzie Hansen on the chest protector. As Jordy talked about, just really trying to hone in and ignore everything else, ignore the crowd, ignore the noise, and have a focal point. The irony is that she's staring at the dirt, but when she finally looks up, it's that blue tape that allows her to hone in.
1-2 to Harding.
And just part of it is she retooled some of her delivery. As you said, Michelle, she stares at the ground, and as she's glancing up, she sees that blue tape that's on her catcher. And she said, you know, it helps me not overthrow, because when she was just staring right in there at the strike zone with her eyes lifted, sometimes she would throw too hard and she would overthrow and not have the spin that she wanted. So Kinzie Hansen, the catcher, said, hey, whatever it takes, I'll wear what you need. They've tried a few different versions of that, but this one has stuck, that blue square, and it is definitely a landmark for Bahl.
Another 2-strike offering fouled away.
And Holly, to your point, basically what happens is pitchers get too amped up, they overthrow and they throw through their spin, so their drop is late. It's not breaking through the zone, it's breaking after the zone. So obviously it's flat going through the zone, for instance. And so, you know, really learning the nuances of pitching, not just throwing, but pitching and manipulating that ball, so important.
Down on the dirt. Hansen much quicker to jump up with Kerr over there at first base.
Oh, all of it in one. I mean, she blocked that ball and came up to throw. I mean, that's so not easy to do. Great job by Kinzie Hansen behind the plate. Knowing that these runners are going to be in motion.
Two, change up, strikeout number 5.
Boy, a second time through the lineup, Jordy Bahl going to that changeup. It's such an effective pitch. Look at the tight rotation on this again, and she gets the swing and miss because she is not afraid to throw that right down the heart of the plate. When that ball looks so sweet and so big to those hitters, they're absolutely going to dive into that pitch, the change in velocity. Strikeout number 5 for Jordy Bahl. Another non-productive out for the Noles. Not able to move Kerr up.
Michaela Edenfield, who singled back up the middle her first time around.
I think it says a lot about Jordy Bahl, too. She has that error, her first error of the season here on this stage, the crowd. She talked to us about the pressure, and she comes right back, striking out Kaylee Harding, the number 3 hitter. It says a lot about her mentality, her growth. Still just a sophomore. Tell you what, Kinzie Hansen is ready. She has it. Every pitch, she was caught off guard. Last inning, a stolen base against her, and now every single pitch, it's like she's doing catch and drills. As soon as she catches it, she's ready to fire.
And she could throw standing. She could throw from her knees. Majority of the time, she'll drop to her knees and throw. Great pop time when you do that.
1-1 pitch. Hitter.
Oh.
So the Sooners helping out the Noles a little bit. 2 free passes in the inning.
Drop ball that just gets away. Boy, that's not even close. You could see it. Her hip was a little over-rotated, came off the arm off the hip. When that happens, there's no way that ball's not going to run into those right-handed hitters.
Now batting second base by number 9, Devin Flaherty.
All right, so for the second inning in a row, Florida State has a chance. It's Devin Flaherty, struck out in the second. Devin has spent time in several different spots in the batting order, including a lot of time up at first or second. And what we've started to see in the last few years, the analytics show that 5 or 6 hole in the lineup is often a great place to put another leadoff type hitter to keep passing the bat in your lineup. And Flaherty has fit in there the last few weeks. Holly?
Well, you talked about Florida State coming here to Hall of Fame Stadium when they were here in March for a road trip against Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. Well, everybody came out on the field. They're looking around, except Devin Flaherty, the batter right now. She refused to step on this field. She said, I don't want to step back on this field until I've earned my way back. So the first time she came out on the field was when they got back here to Oklahoma City last week. Devin Flaherty putting that in the universe, saying, hey, I'm going to manifest being back here as a player. And here she is getting ready to hit again.
Oh, 2 pitch. Well, and that's the kind of leadership that Lonnie Alameda saw in Devin when she pulled her aside in the offseason and said, hey, Sydney Sherrill's been the voice of this team for quite some time. She's now gone. We need you. 2B is our QB, is what she told Devin. And Devin has embraced the role that Sid Sherrill once occupied. One of the links to their championship team in 2018. Pulls that to Sanders, who will step on the base. Spins to see if anybody else was cheating a little bit. 2 down now for the Seminoles and 2 in scoring position for Mac Leonard. Mac has been struggling a bit at the dish, but she did tell us this week that one at-bat we need the most is still coming. Is this it? Takes a look at strike one.
First pitch changeup.
I was going to say, I almost think for Florida State, the conversation has to be to everyone, hey, she's going to give you a changeup in your at-bat. At least one. It's your choice if you want to sit it or not, but that has definitely been a key. Second time through the order, Jordy Ball will go to the off-speed.
They probably do need at least one person to sit it, so it gets in her head.
Leonard just outside the line.
And came back with another changeup.
Mac is just 2 for 26 in this NCAA tournament, but she did also tell us she feels more comfortable with a bat in her hand when she is also the pitcher in a game, which is the case tonight.
Just got to be careful with the rise ball. That is Mac Leonard's nemesis. With 2 strikes, her chase on that is 60%.
0-2, rise and chase. Ends the threat for Jordy Ball.
You think about it, back-to-back changeups, just missing a hit her second at bat, but you know this is exactly where Oklahoma was going to come back. They've got the report, they know what they're doing, and Jordy Ball, the execution, getting herself out of another jam.
Your offense is putting the ball on the ground, putting some pressure on this Oklahoma defense. They only had 16 errors all year. They've had 2 so far. How's that helping?
I mean, it goes back to the scrappiness of us, and I mean, they've got great pitching, and so that kind of helps with the defensive part of it, you know. But this is a different game. This is a championship series. You know, everyone's feeling a little bit. Great crowd, so you know, it's just about one pitch right now.
Mac Leonard got the start. She's battling out there. What do you see from her, and how long do you leave her?
We'll see if some adjustments start happening. I think she's getting the ball down the zone, mixing speeds a little bit. That's a big thing for her. She's relaxed, you know. That's a big moment for a lot of these pitchers to be in. Kat's got the most experience, but these guys are starting to build it. So I'm really proud of her. Like, this is awesome. This is why she came here. This is what she wanted. So super proud for her.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Well, Mac Leonard has been effective by mixing velocity, so really working that changeup at about 55 miles an hour, and then that drop ball hard underneath the hands, and she'll come hard underneath the hands and then come back to the off speed at 54 miles an hour. That variation is really what gives her a lot of effectiveness through the zone. That drop ball, though, on the edges, at the knees, along with that changeup is what's been so effective against Oklahoma tonight.
It's all about the setup pitch.
Yep.
And so Leonard returns for the bottom of the 4th. The call by Lonnie to start Mac and not go with the All-American Kat Sandercock has been a good one so far. Kat is in the bullpen now for the Seminoles. She's been really good as a reliever this year as well. In fact, set a new school saves record this season. So it's not a role that she would be unaccustomed to.
Haley Lee thought she got hit by a pitch. Actually, I'm thinking it must have gotten her if she immediately went to first base. Yeah.
Yeah, it
her
did.
back thigh.
So the coaches have 2 challenges, and they are challenging, and they will win this. And Haley Lee will be the first leadoff batter of the night on base.
Call on the field will be a hit by pitch. The runner will be given first base.
I love how quick this was, too. I mean, we saw it immediately. Credit so much the umpire crew, the review, replay that's here in-house to do that immediately.
Hallie says, I told you guys so. I don't know why you didn't believe me. And they are trying to get the party started here in Oklahoma City. Their number 4 hitter, Kinzie Hansen, coming up. There will be a pinch runner, and it will be Jordy Bahl coming on to run. A role she has filled on several occasions, including in the Big 12 championship game this postseason. Patty Gasso told us she likes to get Jordy thinking about other things and not just what she's doing in the circle, and Jordy loves to get involved in any way she can to help the team. And there will be a pitching change to the freshman, McKenna Reed, when we come back. Series Championship Finals Game 2 will come your way tomorrow at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN. For more information, go to ncaa.com, your home for all 90 NCAA championships. And it is McKenna Reed now who will get the call on in relief. Two home runs given up in that game against Oklahoma to Jennings and Lee. She has also had 4 illegal pitches called at this World Series.
And when she is on point, she's got a great rise ball in the outer half. It's got a little up, it's got a little in from that left side, and that tight rotation is what gives her that late sharp movement. Good velocity, high 60s, low 70s, and that's really going to be the key for her. She's going to need to make sure that she's on point with that speed, that velocity. Her heat map, swing and miss at the upper half of the zone. She is all elevation, and so Oklahoma going to be looking upstairs.
Tells you everything.
Hansen will step in. First team All-American. Kinzie had that massive 3-run home run to tie the Supers game against Clemson when they were down to their final strike and the streak was in jeopardy. They would end up winning it in extras. And Hansen rockets one to center. That'll reach the wall. Jordy Bahl racing around third, and she will score as Hansen has the RBI double.
She's been the best hitter for them this postseason. So clutch, so calm, just an understanding of the strike zone. You saw her take the first pitch that was at the very top of the zone. A rise ball, wanted to make sure that she could get something that she could drive. And we're talking maybe 2 inches lower. And she knows the plan, the understanding, taking this pitch, and watch Jordy Bahl all the way from first base. And by the way, they had a chance to get her. They missed their cut. Had they gotten their cut, that would have been a really close play at home. Patty Gasso taking the risk, and it paid off.
Yeah, you have to hit your cut. Anything coming in from the outfield, you've got to hit your shortstop, your second baseman.
Yeah, Janai Kerr's throw went over the head of 2 Seminoles on the way to the infield. And so Hansen drives in Bahl, and now it's Alyssa Brito looking to drive in Hansen. Oklahoma takes the lead here in the bottom of the 4th.
Oklahoma is just so good at understanding pitches, what they're hunting, and how to get that barrel to Bahl.
That apparently did not hit the bat, just hit the glove.
It should be a pass ball.
Edenfield. So Hansen will take third.
Yeah, that was a changeup from McKenna Reed, and you can see the rotation on this, and I think it just goes off of Edenfield's outer half of the glove.
Let's go down to Holly.
Well, a big moment in this game for Kinzie Hansen, who's told us about the mental roller coaster she went through last year trying to come back and play during injury. She said, I just hurt everywhere, but this year I really trust my preparation. But the biggest thing she's doing differently is her self-talk. She said, when I step into the box, I have little mantras that I say to myself, in this moment, I will win. I wonder if she said that on that last swing, because she did win, got the first run of the game.
And now she's 60 feet away from getting home herself. An inning that started with a hit batter. And there is still nobody out. Patty Gasso had high praise for Alyssa Brito, who was not on any of the all Big 12 teams this year, but was voted first team All-American. And on the season coming in tonight, a 400 hitter with power in her second year after transferring in from Oregon.
She gets overlooked a ton, and there's so many big names in this lineup. And honestly, overall, just all the offensive numbers. But Alyssa Brito has been huge for them, especially where she hits in this lineup.
Yeah, her power numbers this year, 17 home runs.
Cracked that one foul. Well, the Oklahoma Sooners have been putting up big numbers on everybody all year long. The fourth inning, no different, including one more here tonight. Brito goes the opposite way, and that'll find the grass. Another run in for Oklahoma.
Two-strike hitting. This is what Oklahoma can do. And she gets jammed on this pitch, and that's what's so impressive is the way that she's able to find grass after it gets in on her hands, but she stays with her swing, and that's why it's able to continue through it. You look at her reactions. She's one of the many on this team that is unapologetic about her emotions, about her passion, whether she's walking or getting another RBI for her team.
Just one hit the first time through the batting order, and that was their 9-hitter, Riley Boone. Now they've already got a couple the second time through. Harding, nice pickup at third to get Grace Lyons, but she moves Brito over. That's the first out of the inning.
Well, that just shows Patty Gasso putting a sacrifice bunt down, knowing how important it is to get Brito into scoring position, trying to put more runs up on the board.
Well, especially with ball in the circle in this NCAA tournament, coming in just one earned run in her 28 innings, and tack on 4 more, 32 innings. As Ball dances to the beat of her own drummer in the dugout.
How big was it, too, to get Jordy Ball into this game as a pinch runner? And Patty Gasso, I don't think there's ever been a moment bigger for her. She had her first error. She's struggled more with throwing strikes, and I think just getting her in this game, the distraction of everything else, and now going back through.
Sanders, fly ball to shallow right. Brito won't be able to move. 2 down. Don't forget game 2 tomorrow night, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN. If we need 3, Friday night at 8 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. Oklahoma, the #1 seed in the championship series. It's the 11th time in 18 years the top seed has made it here. 1 seeds have won the title 7 times in 17 years. Alina Torres grounded to second her first time up. First time this part of the order sees the reliever, McKenna Reed. Slow roller out in front. Reed fires to first. Torres slides in safely, and Brito will come home on the miscue at first.
I could see the communication between Edenfield and Reed. A little dribbler hit back toward McKenna Reed, and you could see Edenfield saying, go to one, go to one. And she turns, throws it into the ground.
It's the hardest thing about being a left-handed pitcher, Smitty.
Yeah, you have to grab and spin, or you have to step back and throw to first. A couple of fielding errors by the pitchers tonight. That one a big one. It cost the Noles a run.
Scored a single, but then an E1 that gets Brito in. So 3-0 Sooners in front. And here's Riley Boone, who doubled her first time up.
It's interesting, too. You think about Oklahoma versus McKenna Reed versus Mac Leonard. Mac Leonard, just the one hit. It was to Riley Boone. But we've seen a different offensive team against McKenna Reed.
Well, Oklahoma likes that elevated ball. You know, and Leonard was all at the knees and down. And
off speed, too.
Yeah, McKenna Reed, she throws a little bit of an off speed, but every one of her hard pitches is belt high and above. And that's right in the cookie zone for these really good Oklahoma hitters. They just get all into it.
There you saw Leonard and Kat Sandercock talking. Boone pops it up, and Flaherty is there. That'll end the inning, but 3 runs in for Oklahoma.
It's Oklahoma versus the world, and they know it. They are unapologetic. They're not afraid to show the passion, show the intensity, show the emotions. Everyone from their pitcher to all their hitters. They put 3 up on the board as Florida State picks up the bats.
Bottom of the 4th. Kinsey Hansen driving in Jordy Ball. That got things going. And then Alyssa Brito with an RBI single to get Hansen in. Brito would ultimately come around to score as well. So they get to the reliever, McKenna Reed. And now back to work for Jordy Ball in the 5th. And she will face 7, 8, and 9 in the order. They are 9 outs away from a Game 1 win. Waycaser reached on an error first time up, stole a base. Waycaser. Coleman is there, 1 down. Nice evening finally here in Oklahoma City after a couple of weather delays. One pregame for an hour, one in the first inning for about 45 minutes. Had some lightning strikes around. Beth Mullins, Michelle Smith, Jessica Mendoza, and Holly Rowe with you. And our terrific crew. We have a couple hundred folks here, been here for the duration of this Women's College World Series, from 8 teams down to these last 2. That's Allie Dubois heading out to the bullpen. And the ball gets up 0-2 on Bethany Keene.
Ball is like a machine. When she gets a lead, she just even more so continues to hammer that strike zone. Throwing her pitches through it, moving it, changing those velocities.
That's why I think their offense is their best weapon. I know they've got a ton, but it helps everything else when they get the lead.
She's got 10 swing and misses so far.
Yeah, I've always said their offense is like their third or fourth best pitcher because when you can put consistently 8 runs up on the board, you can have a pitcher who has a 2 or a 3 ERA. Oh, by the way, their staff ERA is below 1. So,
and during the 51-game win streak, they're averaging 8 runs a game. Opponents less than 1 run a game.
Exactly.
So there's been a lot of breathing room.
It's a little different than back in the day when it was a 1-0 game and you were just praying for your offense to get you 1 run.
Watch the swag, too.
Yeah.
It's back for Jordy Bahl. You can see the way that she's moving around the circle, around the rubber, the way that she's even talking to herself. After that last pitch was a ball, she's like, I got this. It's a shift.
Former #1 recruit out of high school, out of Papillion, Nebraska, originally committed to the Huskers, then changed her mind. Last year, the National Freshman of the Year and an All-American. She won Game 2 of the Championship Series to get them the title. Gets the Game 1 start this time. Got her with the rise. 2 down, strikeout number 7.
Seventh strikeout of the night. The rise ball continues to climb it up the ladder, gets the swing and miss. Jordy Bahl's been on fire.
There you see the World Series comparison. Last year, as we mentioned, with the forearm injury, her work this year has increased from the regular season into the NCAA tournament and into the World Series. Both of these teams ended up relying more on their ace arms as they got deeper into the tournament. Oklahoma opts to start theirs in Game 1. Florida State goes in a different direction. To center, Coleman. 1, 2, 3 inning in the 5th for OU.
This #1 offense picking up the bats. Jada Coleman, Tiare Jennings, the best 1-2 punch in the game. 34 home runs between these two sluggers picking up the bat.
3-0 as we head to the bottom of the 5th. Yeah, McKenna Reed departs. 3 earned runs in an inning and 2/3 against Oklahoma now in a couple of appearances. Only 8 earned runs against everybody else. She gives way here to Allie Dubois and the top of the order. Jada Coleman lays down a bunt and a base runner.
Weapons. Mentioned the 17 home runs. And oh yeah, speed. She could drop the bunt, Jess.
Yeah, and the game plan too, you know, with Allie Dubois, you're going to get a lot of change-ups. And so the mentality here, what's the best pitch to bunt? The off-speed. And she doesn't even deaden it perfectly. Just right back to the pitcher, and Kaylee Harding's the one that picks it up, the speed.
No, that's Dubois' ball. She's got to go get that.
Yeah.
That's her 11th bunt hit of the season. And now it's Tiare Jennings. A strikeout and a ground out. Jennings, a rocket right at Muffley, and the throw to try and double up Coleman is a bit offline. 1 away. Second time we've seen Muffley this series get up and get one.
She's got ups, that's for sure.
Haley Lee in the 3 spot in the lineup. A fly out and then got hit by a pitch in the 4th. Jordy Bahl came on to run for her and got in to score. Sooner hitters did see Dubois in their regular season meeting back in March. Haley doubled off her.
Boy, that's the pitch that Ellie Dubois really centers her strategy around. She's got to be able to throw that change up for a strike. It's floating in upper half of the strike zone.
Lee Muffley charges, gets it on the short hop, and makes the play to first. Her only play. Coleman over to second base with 2 outs.
This is such a difficult play that we see more often than not. This ball gets bobbled, it goes under the glove because you have to attack the hop. Smitty, you talked about it earlier with Alyssa Brito and the error that she had. Such a tough short hop, running through it, making a play. Josie Muffley made a very difficult play and almost like, okay, I got it there at the end.
And just innate ability to throw on the run.
There's Kinsey Hansen, who had the RBI double last inning. Waits on the change and drives it out to left. Mudge bobbles and cannot make a throw into the plate. And Jada Coleman will score. 4-0 OU. And Kinsey Hansen has driven in a couple.
Okay, so we talked about changeup. You know you're going to get it for Allie Dubois. Watch the swing of Kinsey Hansen. She triggers her hips. You'll see her hips start to go. See them rotate, but watch her hands. She does a great job of continuing to see the pitch once her body goes. So it allows her to hit the pitch and be able to drive in another run for the Sooners.
Yeah, you could almost see that little bit of a pause. Yeah, you almost squeeze your legs together, and it just gives you enough to get those hands through. It's beautiful hitting.
15th game of the year with multiple runs batted in for Hansen. And that'll be inside the bag down the line at third, and Brito is aboard. Three hits in the inning off of Dubois.
Well, it's been an interesting game so far. 2 doubles for Oklahoma, 4 singles. So not using the long ball that they've used so effectively this year. 115 home runs on the year, but showing that they can go station to station. And this is where that batting average shows up. Those 4 hitters with an over 400 batting average, 8 of 9 over 320.
This now matches the largest deficit that Florida State has faced in this postseason.
Good job by Edenfield to keep that ball in front.
Grace Lyons, ground out into sacrifice, was a part of that 3-run rally in the 4th. Big month for Grace. Graduation, Champ Series, wedding coming up in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, Tiara Jennings was bragging, I'm a bridesmaid. I'm 21, never done this before.
Yeah, she was excited, her first wedding.
Lyons takes a strike. And now the bases are loaded for Sydney Sanders. And now is the time that we have to remind you that the run rule was implemented this year to the championship series for the first time. So Oklahoma leading 4-0, a grand slam would win them game one.
Oh, you're sitting change. That's the one.
That's what you were sitting for.
It's also, I mean, 43 miles an hour. So I think sometimes you go up, okay, I'm sitting change. But remember, the changeups we've seen in this game have been in the low 60s. Yeah. That's Allie Dubois' fastball. So 43 is slow and slower.
0-2. Sanders on the season 2 for 7 with the bases loaded. Out to Waycaser in right. And the Sooners will leave them loaded, but they do get one more in, and a 4-0 lead to the 6th. Top of the order coming up for the Noles.
7 strikeouts, drop ball in the outer half, but look at how she hammers the zone. Great movement through the zone, not afraid to really throw with a lot of spin and authority through that strike zone, inducing the swing and miss with the rise ball, a little bit of changeup, but the drop ball explosive through that middle lower half of the zone. Jordy Bahl has just been on fire. 1 hit given up, stranding 3 base runners for the Noles as those Sooner bats put 4 big runs up on the board for him.
And hasn't gone to the rise ball as consistently as I think Florida State was expecting. She's been doing the unexpected.
Dropping down a bunt is Mudge, and Ball this time clean to make the play. Holly?
Well, Patty Gaslow says that Jordy Bahl is an absolute machine. She is so disciplined about her routine. And when we asked her about it, she said, you know, I try to do it every week. I do about 3 times extra lifting outside of what the team is doing. She gets extra cardio in. She is very regimented in the work that she gets done. And you can see it. She is so athletic, so in shape, and just exploding off the rubber.
And Holly, I asked her about that. Just, I love workout, so I'm like, what do you do? What are all the things? And she's like, honestly, I mean, it's a combination of CrossFit, all these different things. But she said it helps my mentality. I know that I outwork anyone else on the field. And for me, it gives me the confidence that I'm going to be better than anyone else because of the physique and the way that my body is when I pitch.
Well, that is a lot of pitching. It's mass, muscle, but it's also fitness. And a lot of people don't realize it, but when you're pitching, your heart rate is typically up in that 160 to 180 beats per minute. So that's not going out and jogging, right? Yeah. You've got to be on a bike. You've got to be doing all sorts of interval training to bring your heart rate up and down.
It's your core, it's your legs, it's not just that swing. Some smoke for Kerr. Jordy, by the way, has now pushed her scoreless inning streak to 20 in a row. An impressive number considering you're in the postseason playing against the best out there. Has held the Noles to just the 1 hit tonight. And it's strikeout number 8. 2 down.
Well, you can just tell that Jordy Bahl is feeling it. She's floating off of that pitching rubber. You can just see the way that she uses those legs, gets out to that 8-foot mark. So Riseball in the upper half of the zone, and she's just going to take Kerr up even higher for the strikeout. Look at the way she's going to get underneath this ball, backward rotation, gets it up at the eyes, and takes Janai Kerr up that ladder for that 8th strikeout of the night for Jordy Bahl.
Look at that in the tournament far right. 44 strikeouts and 3 walks.
I mean, it's really been amazing. She's had a hit batter, 2 errors today that she's been able to work around, no walks.
Here's Kaylee Harding, a strikeout victim with the changeup in the 4th inning, and Hansen will come out for a chat.
Probably getting a good feel where she's at for that pitch. A pitch that they definitely relied on as they go 3rd time through the order.
Well, we talked about Florida State's desire to, they got to get base runners on and try and create some havoc, create some traffic, as Lonnie likes to say. They've had base runners in each of the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th innings.
Yeah, but the difference is Jordy Bahl with runs. She is a different pitcher.
Well, she's come out with a strikeout in 2 of those 3 innings to get them out of the jams. So you're absolutely right.
Tired 7 in a row, and you can just see it, the confidence, as you mentioned, Jess, when she's got runs up on the board, she is literally just putting that ball right down Broadway, saying swing through it.
Harding, and that'll get over the head of Jada Coleman, the one-hopper off the wall. The throw back in is a beauty, and Harding is nailed at second base.
Hey, you don't always get to see a celebration in center field. That's how much the Sooners love their outfielder, Jada Coleman. So much athleticism, so much right with this place. First of all, it was crushed, but it's the read off the wall. Hosed at second base, and Jada Coleman, Jordy Bahl, and the Tyner Sooners team meeting their center fielder, Jada, up to bat.
Presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Back here at the Women's College World Series, game 1 of our championship series at a 4-0 lead for Oklahoma into the bottom of the 6th. The Sooners are 3 outs away from winning the opener of this best-of-3 series as Allison Royalty comes on to pitch the 4th of the night for the Sooners. Just her 2nd appearance of this NCAA tournament, so for Royalty, the transfer making her debut in the World Series for the Seminoles.
Royalty is going to have a little rise-drop combination. Also, will throw a changeup.
Jocelyn Erickson is the pinch hitter. 8-9 and then the top. The pitch count, by the way, for Jordy Bahl is at 80 tonight. So as you start steering the conversation towards game 2, the opportunity might be there for Patty Gasso to go back to Jordy as Erickson lines out. Would imagine the starter for the Noles would be Catherine Sandercock.
Yeah, I think if I'm Patty Gasso and Jordy Bahl has a pitch count under 100, there's a good chance I'm bringing her right back.
As good as she's looked, why not? You got to keep your foot on the throttle. I know you've got other pitchers in the staff that have great numbers, but there's them and then there's Jordy Bahl.
Riley Boone. Gapper, right center, Boone to second, thinking about third. And the throw-in hits her and ricochets away, and she can take third.
We've seen a few missed cuts from Florida State on balls coming in from the outfield, just missing the person that they're supposed to hit. A run scored earlier in this game because of it. And Riley Boone, how about the power from her that we've seen tonight? Second double. But watch the throw coming in. Misses both cuts.
Oh, the exuberant celebration helps her out there.
Yeah. Not quite how you score this. I'm quite sure what you do.
A double and a E9 would be my guess.
E8, I think. Let's see if they give that to her.
I mean, that's one of the first things they teach you, though, in the outfield is that you have to hit your cut. And if you're going to miss your cut, you short hop them.
Yep.
You don't air mail it. So at least they can pick something that's down.
Oh, they're not going to charge her an error there, simply advancing on the throw. Back to the top, and Jada Coleman coming up for the 4th time. Singled her last time up. Is in for a strike. Out of the Colony in Texas. And a former high school National Player of the Year is Jada Coleman. And there is the walk. So runners on first and third. Holly?
I'd like to make a suggestion to the official score that celebration play at second for Riley Boone, they call it a let's go. That has become the chant that every single player who's celebrating for Oklahoma says. It is let's go. You can see her hands there. The let's go hits her in the hand. Just now on the walk, Jada Coleman at home base. Let's go. We're getting all kinds of funny things on TikTok, social media, of people saying, you know, I set my pen down at my desk to go home for the day, and I'm saying, let's go. It's taking over America by storm. So, you know, official score, let's just call it the let's go play.
The LG.
Here's Tiare Jennings.
Boy, that's something you don't see very often. 0 for 3 next to Jennings' stat line.
Oh for 3 tonight for Tiare. And a base hit to drive in a run. Boone will score. RBI Jennings. And it's 5-0 Sooners. And she has just become the all-time career leader in runs batted in at the Women's College World Series.
Clutchness is what Patty Gasso will call some of her athletes. Tiare Jennings has been that throughout her career.
She broke Jocelyn Allo's record, sitting in the stands watching her teammate. Tiare Jennings has done it so many different ways too. Saw it against Stanford in the semis of 2 strikes. Just continue to pass the bat, even the alums.
And so for the second time tonight, they bring the winning run to the plate. And Muffley with the grab to steal the home run ball. Or excuse me, Mudge. What a play by Kaylee Mudge.
Oklahoma is in shock right now. I mean, this is how you do it, folks. You want to rob a home run and save the game. This was the game. Look at her get up and take this back. I mean, just in shock here. This place went nuts. They thought it went over the fence, and Kaylee Mudge says,
Look at Lee's already celebrating the game winner, but she got mudged.
Wow. Did you see how long she stayed in the air? That was impressive.
And Florida State stays in it. 2 down. Wow. Here's Kinzie Hansen. Up and in, 2-0.
That's what's been so interesting too in this game is Oklahoma scoring these 5 runs. They haven't hit what they do so often is the long ball, and they did there. And Kaylee Mudge was like, no.
They've definitely used the double. 3 doubles today. Puts them up to 116 on the year, but it's the 115 home runs that you're used to seeing bounce off those Sooner bats.
Hansen drove in a run with a double in the 4th and a single in the 5th.
She's been their hottest hitter consistently in the postseason here in Oklahoma City. And as much as we see the fire and the passion from a lot of these teammates, this is the cool, this is the calm. This is the very stoic, concentrated, with a plan hitter.
Three and one. Coleman and Jennings still aboard. Hansen could win it with one swing. And it's right at Harding. Couple of nice plays defensively for Florida State. They're down to their final at bat. It looked like it was leaving the yard, and Kaylee Mudge up to get it and pull it back in. Even the greatest home run hitter of all time knows that's a nice catch.
She's just been outstanding, really working the zone, hammering it. Once she got a lead, she was all in attack mode. Variation of pitches. It's that rise ball explosive at the top of the zone that's really come on late in this game, as well as the changeup as a setup pitch. Jordy Bahl just showing why she was National Freshman of the Year last year and an All-American this year.
6 innings of work, 8 strikeouts. And the World Series numbers continue to impress. It's 4, 5, and 6. Last chance for Florida State. Otherwise, the Sooners win the opener and could win the national championship tomorrow night. They are looking for their 3rd shutout in their 4 games here at the World Series.
Boynton Edenfield so far off of the plate. See, she's looking for that inside pitch, and I think that last pitch looking like it was on the inner half, pretty sweet.
Especially when you're that far off.
Yeah.
But remember, Michaela Edenfield, that her cookie zone is more level. She doesn't like it up. She doesn't like it down.
One-two pitch from Jordy Bahl. Strikeout number 9.
Wow, and look at the location of this pitch. She's going to ride this pitch. Even though Edenfield is off the plate, she's going to put it right on the plate, and it's going to have a little bit of movement back underneath the hands. Look at the location, outstanding. Good velocity in that upper 60s, tight rotation. 9th strikeout of the game for Jordy Bahl.
Here's Devin Flaherty. These two teams met a couple of years ago And Florida State won game 1. The Sooners rallied to win games 2 and 3. That's a rarity because 76% of the national champions in the last 18 years have won game 1. Only 4 times has a team bounced back from a game 1 defeat. It's also the second time here at this tournament. Remember, Tennessee tried a similar strategy. They did not throw their ace against Oklahoma. They went with a pitching staff. And with 2 outs remaining, it just hadn't worked out on either occasion.
Yeah, and for me, no matter how many runs that Oklahoma's put up on the board, Florida State's going to have to figure out a way to put runs up on the board themselves, get back into their game, which is moving the defense, putting the ball on the ground. They really haven't done a lot of that this evening. Granted, Ball has those 9 strikeouts. They just have to figure out a way to barrel stuff up a little bit better.
Yeah, I think Beth said it perfectly. Their plan, right? Walk, stolen base, double. I think they did a good job getting on base. They did a good job a little bit, the base running, but missing the big hits, the 2B, BBSB 2B. This is one of the hardest pitchers to try to do that against.
Three and 2. Don't forget, coming up next, it's Sports Center. Nicole Briscoe and Michael Eaves will have it for you.
It's these counts that Jordy Ball has owned. Florida State is 0 for 10 with 9 strikeouts when Jordy Ball gets to 2 strikes.
Got her. Strikeout number 10, 2 down.
It's hard enough to hit Jordy Ball. This makes it even tougher. This is off the plate. Called strike 3. We've seen her rise ball. We've seen the off speed. We've seen the changeup. There's no way you're reaching that if you're a left-handed batter.
Pinch hitter Katie Dack is the last chance. Ball looking to get to 4-0. This Women's College World Series, 5-0 in her World Series career. I think Jordy said, let's get this one right here. And Patty said, okay, I can go for that. Three and 0. In for a strike. Reminder that game 2 is set for tomorrow night, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN. Game 3 would be Friday night.
Tell her it's ball 4. Katie Dack getting the walk. And This is big only because the catch from Kaylee Mudge, the walk here, it's extending the amount of pitches for Jordy Bahl. I get it, she's a workhorse. But you start to think about game 2, how they're going to utilize her. The more looks, the more at-bats they can get against her.
Yeah, she had thrown 71 pitches coming into the 5th, so approaching 100. If they get her over 100, it'd be 30 pitches-ish in the last 2 innings.
That's a win within a loss.
For sure.
If they don't come back.
Maya Ross is your pinch runner. Hallie Waycaser at the plate. Oh, and 1. One out away from a 52nd win in a row. Right back to Jordy Bahl, who will record the final out in game 1. Belongs to Oklahoma. Jordy Bahl, the 2-hit shutout with 10 strikeouts. Kinsey Hansen, a couple of RBI. And that extends the win streak to 52 in a row. And tomorrow night, Oklahoma will play for its 7th national championship.
It was, again, the offense. And as good as Jordy Bahl with the 10 Ks was, she struggled a little bit early. And once her offense got on board, with her help, by the way, she scored one of those runs early. She became a different pitcher, and that was then.
And she's on the field right now with Holly.
Well, Jordy, you get out into the circle tonight, game 1 of the Champ Series. How hard was it with the stops and starts and getting your adrenaline where it needed to be?
I think in that situation, you just have to work on staying mentally locked in. I mean, that's tough when there's a lot of things out of your control, but I think we all did a good job of that.
I've never seen this in the history of the World Series where the starting pitcher comes in as a pinch runner. What are you thinking when you're bringing in the first run of the game?
Well, Hansen had a really great hit, but I mean, it's cool. I like to help out in any way I can, but just be fast, I guess. I don't know.
10 strikeouts for you tonight. Tell me what was important about your rise ball and how you're locating that to get those good looks.
Florida State's a really good hitting team, so you can't sit in one place too long, so it's important to keep mixing it up with them, like up and down, off speed, everything. So they made me have to give them a lot of different looks.
All right, how did this team unapologetically be who you are, celebrate how you are on this stage tonight?
I think we're just keeping consistent with celebrating the little things. Some people probably think it's excessive at times, but what they don't realize is maybe it was an 0-2 count that turned into a walk. So it's just knowing the game and celebrating every little thing.
Thanks, Jordy.
Thank you.
All right, she scores a run and gets the win. And Oklahoma, if they win tomorrow, they are the national champions. Game 2, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN. If Florida State can bounce back and take it, we will be here again on Friday night, winner take all. 5-0 the final. Oklahoma defeats Florida State. For Michelle Smith, Jessica Mendoza, Holly Rowe, our entire crew, I'm Beth Mowins. Thanks so much for being with us through the delays tonight for the Championship Series opener. And it goes to OU. Now let's get you to Sports Center. Nicole Bristow and Michael Eaves.